Hello everyone and welcome. Today we'll explore how AI is moving from hype to real impact in the travel industry, with a concrete example of Club Med and how Asana is impacted AI-powered productivity. I'm Sidney Zeder. I'm a senior director in consulting at Artefact, and I'm delighted to be joined by Siddhartha Chatterjee, Global Chief Data and AI Officer at Club Med, and by Corentin Rosado, Head of AI Go-to-Market International at Asana. So we look on how AI is transforming both the guest-facing and the internal operations, and most importantly, what it really takes to scale. So let's jump right in. Siddhartha, you started your AI transformation very early with a quite bold ambition. Can you walk us through your transformation plan, both on the internal side and the guest-facing opportunities?
Thank you, Sidney, and very happy to take stage today. As you rightly said, at Club Med, we started our AI transformation pretty early in 2023 with a single shift in mindset, because AI foremost is a leadership posture. So we changed our mindset from being a smart adopter to a pioneer and an early adopter. Okay? But at the same time, at Club Med, our brand is loved by everybody, and we are a purely human company at the center. So ethics and compliance for us was the main point. Anyway, so all started with this change in mindset and then starting to innovate and test a lot, but always with an objective of scale or fail. So we succeeded in putting in place multiple use cases, both client-facing and guest-facing. Client-facing, we were the first to put in place an AI agent within WhatsApp, which is today handling more than 30% of inbound conversations. And as we succeeded in scaling it up, today it's live in 15 markets, being able to handle almost 50%, from 30 to 50% of inbound requests of customers on products, on pricing, on recommendations, end to end. It's uplifting our customer satisfaction in terms of the time to response. And recently we have put in place the agentic architecture with an orchestration, which is creating more fluidity in the interaction. Another example would be in the space of marketing. A simple example which we call the Jaunty Writer. And the Jaunty Writer is a copywriting AI agent which perfectly understands the brand tone of voice, what Club Med can say, cannot say, in terms of vocabulary, in terms of speech. And more than hundreds of copywriters and marketers around the world are using this tool to create content for CRM, for our website, etc., and personalizing the content. In terms of internal efficiency, which has been a very important point for us, because our main goal is really to create efficiency and give time back to our geos around the world so that they can reallocate to create that human and emotional moment. So one example which is really close to my heart is the Geo Match. So Geo Match is a tool using machine learning and AI, which is solving a 2-decade-long problem, because we are in a seasonal business. So we need to move around our geos around the world between resorts. Earlier, it was a process which was totally done manually. And today, we are able to automate it, where more than 40,000 geo-assignment roles are being suggested by the AI with obviously human supervision, creating huge efficiency. And 75% of all our assignments are happening thanks to this tool and the satisfaction of our HR business partners, so that, again, they can reallocate this time to really build a career and create that human moment with our geos. There are multiple examples. For example, in digital support, again, for employee satisfaction, whenever you have a problem with your computer, your software, we all create digital tickets in our companies. Today, 75% of the digital tickets are being handled by an AI agent automatically within Jira software and creating efficiency. Okay, so these are few examples.
Thank you, Siddhartha. So that gives us a really great view of your ambition and your scope. Now let's look at how this transformation is supported internally with you, Corentin. So Asana is a key player in AI-powered productivity. How do you support organizations such as Club Med or other travel players more broadly through AI-powered productivity?
Thank you, and delighted to be here as well. So first of all, Asana is a comprehensive work management solution that helps structure, organize, and manage work from start to finish. We can help on product launches, creative requests, or managing strategic work, strategic planning. And Asana helps create that structure to organize and really coordinate the work. And we are actually doing that with a very specific, unique work graph data model that helps uniquely connect goals to the execution. And when we are actually working with most of our clients, and in first conversation, the funny thing is the work tends to be very fragmented. So take spreadsheets, emails, you name it, it's pretty chaotic. And I think AI can play a huge part there. But what we see is misalignments, duplication of work, and slower decision-making process. So when it comes to our specific clients, they complain about limited visibility for critical work that leads to questioning who is doing what, by when, how, why. Those typical questions that frustrate a lot of us, I think, in this room and beyond. With global brands like Club Med, we see that as the go-to-market operations are scaling, there's this issue around how can I scale quickly and how can I scale efficiency and consistently across the teams. So when it comes to travel specifically, for the past few years, the economical headwinds are actually putting a lot of pressure on margins, and we see a lot more scrutiny on process efficiency. So take Club Med, for example. We've been helping revamping the whole process of content creation across EMEA, managing really this process end-to-end, helping creating digital assets pretty much for the websites. And resulting in improving efficiency and visibility on the work, which I think is critical. Take companies...
And this is a big process pain point in companies, huh? Project management. Everything is project management. Right?
Yeah, I think we all project managers to some extent.
Everybody.
Take a client also like Qatar Airways that we're helping for revamping their finance and operations processes. Take American Airlines that we're helping triaging, standardizing, and working on the assignation of work for the creation of assets throughout the company. Accor as well, that we help reduced 50% emails and meetings for campaign creation. So when it comes to work management, it's not only helping bring clarity and process, but I think it's creating the structure, the foundation to actually deploy AI for further improvements. So we believe that embedding AI in this flow of work and not only brings more efficiency, but the goal is to free up time for the teams to actually focus on the more strategic work. And thankfully, this is what we see also with the Club Med teams.
Thank you, Corentin. Let's see how all of this scales at Club Med. So with only 5% of AI project going to production, scaling is where most companies struggle. What were the key approaches that enabled you at Club Med to successfully scale and create impact both internally and with the guest-facing experiences?
Yes, so this is really the core of the whole topic, right? And AI is not a new topic. I've been working in AI for 15 years now. Only now we can call it AI. We have the right to call it AI. And we have seen all companies, struggling to putting in production. So this is not a new problem. So I had this intuition when we started our journey, and we had that single focus, of scaling or failing. So in our first initiatives, and obviously we used a lot of techniques like, really sourcing the use cases from the business and using tools like hackathons with Microsoft, workshops, and really sourcing these problems. And then always focusing on going end-to-end on the most critical use cases, which are targeting your right KPIs on operational efficiency or customer experience, right? So that's how we started. And thereby, every time we went on to tackle a use case, we ensured that we are going really the full path and putting it in production. I remember when we launched GM Copilot, our first AI assistant, people were really struggling to put these assistants in production because of problems of hallucination in terms of the risk associated. And because we were focused on putting it in production, so very early we came up with a multi-agent approach. So it was one AI, one assistant which had 4 agents. One which was understanding the question. Second one which was searching the information using retrieval augmented generation. Third one was formulating the response, and then we had a 4th agent, which was actually trying to calculate the accuracy or the relevance of this agent. And that allowed us to remove hallucination almost to 0, and we could put it in production, and thankfully we don't have any issues as of now. Today we are hitting rate of production of 85%, and the MIT report came out only recently that only 5% of initiatives are succeeding in seeing production. So we're very happy with this. And now our goal is really to change our operating model in the way we are handling knowledge work. And knowledge work which is going to be mainly impacted with the AI agents. And for example, what you're presenting in terms of project management is part of knowledge work. And we do believe that in 5 to 10 years, companies will no longer operate the way they are operating today because the tools will change. We will have these new digital colleagues working with us. The AI agents will actually be colleagues. Unlike the digital tools of the past where we had to use them to do something. But today, with more and more autonomy, these colleagues, digital colleagues will work with us along like other human colleagues. So for that, we have to really look at, both from an individual point of view as to how can I gain more efficiency in my day-to-day. We call it the daily routine. And we are asking all our employees to look at, how they can optimize, look at their own job desk, and then, task by task, look at how they can delegate some of these tasks to the AI agents. And the second one would be business processes end-to-end. So for every function, whether finance, whether marketing, whether commercial, we need to look at the end-to-end processes. Some of the examples I gave you are like parts of a bigger picture, right? So for this, even the World Economic Forum says that 85 million jobs will get disrupted by 2030. We do believe that many more jobs will be created. We have created a new role called a process designer. And a process designer is an individual, within the company who knows his own processes absolutely perfectly. And this individual would be AI-enabled, trained in AI, and then map their own processes and then redesign them using AI and AI agents. So today we have a first batch of 25 AI agents, AI process designers, and about 100 AI ambassadors, who will work with these process designers to reimagine end-to-end these processes, and then continue to automate. So for example, we made an analysis on our own knowledge work. In terms of knowledge work, we analyzed almost like 9,200 unique tasks. And within this task, we found out that there is a potential of 49% automation of AI agents, potential automation. But there is one caveat to all of this. Because we can automate to 49% doesn't mean that the rest of the time we can go and play golf, or we can go to Club Med. I'm talking about the employees, even though we do go. There will be a big topic of reskilling and upskilling. Because in order to work with these agents, we need to learn new skills, new competences, such as understanding data, understanding how these AI agents are actually working, the ability to, challenge the results of the agents, to supervise these agents. So there will be many new skills that we will have to work. So I think it's going to be a long process, but in the next 5 to 10 years, I think, companies will be extremely efficient. And more than 50% of the global workforce, as per World Economic Forum, will have to, go through this reskilling and upskilling. So companies like us need to be very vigilant in order to, handhold and help our colleagues to learn these new skills, not only AI, but also the soft skills. Because soft skills such as curiosity, analytical thinking, leadership, these skills will become even more important because we will be doing less mundane stuff, and the expectations will be much higher to do tasks which are of higher caliber.
This is actually something that we see with our clients, where the most difficult thing is not to change the process or the workflow, is actually to make sure that people are keen to work with AI. And I think that's the biggest challenge. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not simple. The change involved is really important, because one is the technology is evolving. Technology is evolving very rapidly. And I often tell my team, for example, my team had a serious reskilling in order to learn these new technologies, such as prompt engineering, AI engineering, etc. So I always tell them that don't build, the solution or the problem that you're trying to solve based on the state of the technology today. Because in 6 months, the technology will be much more evolved. So this ability to anticipate and see the future and be strategic, it goes down from the bottom of the funnel right up to the CEO. You need to always look forward and see how this technology is evolving, and take it into account, and also use it in your internal communication, to manage the expectations.
Yeah, so rethinking the whole operating model, implementing changes and adoption approaches is really key to scale. Corentin, on your perspective, what are the key recipes to success in scaling across organizations?
Siddhartha was talking about context and to avoid hallucination. I think we see like 3 main drivers to that. The first one, indeed, is context. So you cannot have an AI that works effectively if AI doesn't have access to the right context. And I think that's the limitation also of chatbots to some extent, where chatbots are as good as what information they've been fed with. So at Asana, I think the important thing is we see that in our AI offering, we basically have the agentic part, the workflow part, and the assistive part. We believe that AI can really act as a teammate to provide you with data processing capabilities, pattern recognition, insights for humans to actually decide. Humans needs to be there for the ethical thinking, the critical thinking. So AI is more there to supercharge the human judgment rather than actually replacing it. And that only works if you have access to the right work context. And I think the work context is very critical. So that's thing number one. Second thing is around transparency. So you need your AI to be transparent. So you need to understand throughout the process what is the AI doing, why it's thinking this way, why it's acting in your workflow. You cannot just defer on AI and pretend that it was not your responsibility and AI did it and you didn't know. This is not how it should be done. The human in the loop, I think, concept is very critical. And then third thing is around control. You need to be able to control what AI is doing. So you need to be able to be specific enough so AI knows what context it has access to be able to do the work. But also you need to be prescriptive with AI to make sure that you're actually guiding AI towards what is the outcome that you expect. So yeah, control, transparency, and context is key.
And I'll add last point, creativity. Because we have to be creative with AI, and we have to be creative with all these aspects, because the potential is almost endless. And often when we are dealing with things with unlimited potential or possibilities, I think creativity combined with logic and discipline and method really helps you to attack the right problems.
One last question, Siddhartha. What are the key, the concrete business outcomes that you observed from this internal transformation?
Yeah, sure. So I mentioned to you about the customer service with GM Copilot handling 30% of conversations with almost 50% of end-to-end full automation rate. GeoMatch is handling about 75% of geo placements. The digital support system, 75% of tickets are being handled by our AI assistant instead of humans before. In terms of marketing, in terms of the content we are creating with Gentil Reiter, so we see almost on any AI use case which is done the right way, we see an increment of 5x to 10x in terms of time efficiency. Okay, but then the time efficiency is not the only indicator. We also look at how they are reallocating the time. And really a more profound area that we are looking at is automation of software engineering. And software engineering is very complex, and we do not believe that you can automate end-to-end software engineering. But however, there's a big question of reskilling our developers. And our developers, so we've about 300 developers in the company. They're already seeing between 25 to 30% of increase in productivity and also in quality. Right? So now the motive is how we can again reallocate this time to build systems which are more efficient, which are more robust, release more features for our customers, because our customers requests are evolving a lot. They want conversational, they want new features. So earlier, which was a bottleneck, today we see endless possibilities because of this time efficiency and also the business efficiencies that we are seeing thanks to the AI use cases.
Thank you both for those very insightful perspectives. So it's really clear that AI creates impacts when strategy, processes, and the right tools come together, and what it really takes to scale. Thank you, everyone, for joining.
Thank you so much.